Hey guys, how y'all doing today? It's your boy Rick coming again with another little video on the journey to £1,000,000. Episode 011 today. Oh, 11? 11? Yeah, we've been going a lot and I'm so grateful for your attention, guys. Share this video on your wall because there's fire coming today. This is probably the best video I'm gonna do actually out of everything. I was really thinking that if you go through my first 10 episodes, I didn't really talk much about the actual making of money. And I was shocked. I was like, people are still listening to me while I'm just not talking about that. It seems though that it's still needed. People wanted to hear that. People needed to hear the other topics we talked about, which is the saving, the investing, just some of the principle and foundations. Because even if you make all the money in the world and you don't know the principles, it's not going to help you. But today, I'm really on about making, the making of money. And so today, I'm really talking about, the fact that, there is money already in you. And it's going to be fire. So make sure you like the page. Make sure you comment. Let me know what you're thinking at the end. Because I really, this is going to be epic. This is going to be epic. So, many are asking, where is the money? A lot of people are asking, how come I don't have much income? How come my bank account has very little money? Yeah, you save, yeah, you do that, but you don't have that much money. You seem to wonder where the money lies, while others, the millionaires and billionaires among us are like finding loads. Even maybe your friends, your friends seem to have loads of money and you just have a small salary and you're wondering where the money is at. And that's what I want to answer today, where the money already is. And I want to answer it by posing a question to you, a question saying, do you know that you are already wealthy? Now, it's a bit of a cliche, I know, but trust me, this is going to be something. If you don't take 2 or 3 practical things today that you can take to the bank and start making money right now, then there's something wrong. There's something wrong. I am making sure that the way I present this is going to be so good. So you better check on your side, what's happening, because today it's fire and there's practical stuff. Listen all to the way to the end. There's going to be a lot of practical stuff. So, what am I saying? Do you know that you're already wealthy? I say this because money and wealth are actually 2 different things. Wealth and money are different. Now, a lot of times we interchange the 2 words and we put money and wealth, interchangeably. But for the purpose of this, I want you to know that there is a real importance in the definition. And so, this is why you should look at wealth are the resources that you have in you already. But money is simply, a representation of how much of that wealth you have turned into currency. The currency of your own country, whether that's, pounds, US dollars, Australian dollars, Canadian, South African rand, whatever it is. Wealth is not necessarily, wealth is not necessarily just money, even though money is a part of wealth, but wealth is not necessarily money. So I want you to think about that. And this is where what I mean is that you already have wealth in you, but you actually already have money in you. Many people have simply learned how to turn the wealth of knowledge, maybe that they have, into a job package that your boss kind of pays you, and he either pays you in chunks of time, per hour, per week, or whatever, or even he pays you in contracts per project that you deliver. But let's take for example, you have the skill of being able to stack shelves without dropping and breaking everything. So your boss, she kind of just hires you because she values that skill to a certain amount, and then she gives you money. So what you've done there is you've taken the wealth that was in you, and wealth here, I'm talking about the strength maybe you have, the time you have to go to a place and be there, and the attention to detail you have so that you don't just break everything. That's the wealth you have. And the way you package that is that, you package it in the way of, you're a job, in a job, and your boss pays you. But you've only, here's the problem with a job then. You've only packaged one skill. Maybe it's the knowledge that you got at university, and now you're a doctor, and it's the dexterity with your hands, ability to talk to patients, and you're paid for that. But that's not the only skill you have, is it? That's not the only thing you have inside you. That is the point of what I'm trying to say today. If your only source of money is a salary from a job, you are a poor man, my friend. I'm afraid to say you're a poor man. You are at the mercy of your boss and your employer. That's where the issue comes. You are at the mercy of these people. So if you only learn that one thing, then those people, if that person doesn't want that skill anymore, you can go. And if nobody wants that skill while you're unemployed, while you're made redundant, then that's it. That's it. That's your ass, basically. But if you learn how to also harness and monetize your other skills, virtues, assets that are inside you, gifts, talents that are inside you. And I'm going to give you examples of how to monetize at the end, so make sure you're there. That's how you make more money. Yes, learn how to have it as a job, because no matter what, what I find with a job is you have the security. Let's say even the simplest of jobs, anybody can go out there. Maybe if you know how to drive, you can go out there and drive for someone, so you don't starve. Maybe while you're working on, some of the other things here, you don't starve, and you can still feed your family. That's the basic thing that they teach us in school. But if you want more money, if you want security, and you want to be job proof, you want to be economy proof, no matter what the economy does, no matter what your employer says and makes you redundant, oh, we don't have any work anymore, it doesn't matter, because you know how to monetize. If you want this, then learn some of the things I'm giving you here. So how do you turn your wealth into money? This is a very important thing. I want you to write it down, maybe even rewind this and write it down, because this statement, if there's one statement that you're going to take this statement. I'm even going to read it because it's so important. I want you to get it word for word. Money comes from discovering sources of wealth and exerting the energy into converting them into marketable products and services. I'm going to repeat that. Money comes from discovering sources of wealth and exerting the energy into converting those sources of wealth into marketable products and services. Now, that right there is worth taking to the bank right there. Because if you understand what that is, if you understand that and the word conversion, oh, you'll be unstoppable. You will be unstoppable whether you're in Japan, whether you're in Zimbabwe, whether you're in Ghana, whether you're in Abeokuta, wherever you are, Ontario, whether you're in Brazil, you will not be stopped when you understand that statement that I just said. Okay. I'll give you a good example, a very famous example of two men, Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. These guys are really famous guys. They are BFFs. They are best friends for life. They got a bromance happening. But they would never dream of being in the same business, because they turn their inner wealth into money in different ways. Now remember, on here I'm talking a lot about inner wealth, but there's also outer wealth. Remember, you can convert outer wealth as well, because there's wealth everywhere. But for the purposes of this video, I'm only talking about inner wealth. I'll maybe get into the other things in another video. But here's your thing with the two guys, Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. Here's why they won't do business together. Because Bill Gates doesn't have the patience to value invest and research companies, so that they can to find the ones that are going to yield billions of dollars. And on the same wavelength, Warren Buffett doesn't know how to be innovative and create, software, computer software that's going to change the world. That's Bill's wheelhouse. So they stay in their wheelhouse. That's why they're really powerful. These are two famous guys. Let's bring it down to us. Actually, let's take some more famous people. Beyonce. How does Beyonce make her money? Beyonce makes money by just shining that Bey charisma that she has. Queen Bee, like that Queen Bee charisma that she has through her songs and through her videos and through her concerts. Nelson Mandela, he never had to work a day in his life after he came out of prison because he served others. He even served his people and his enemies. And he led us in our feelings, in how we were going to feel about the hatred that had accrued over many years to bring about a new South Africa. That was his way. And how about someone like Jeff Bezos? Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, he makes his money by kind of creating simple systems that, through which Amazon can sell you shit, can sell you stuff, pardon my French. But guys, this is the thing, I want to just tell you that there is wealth, and you must get it. Let's get into some practical stuff. The last kind of couple of minutes of this, I want to get into some practical stuff. Okay, some general sources of wealth. In general, there are 4 sources of wealth, and I'm going to list them in how I kind of rank them in importance. First of all, time. Time is your biggest source of wealth. Time is the most important resource you have. After all, if you run out of time, you're dead. But time, it creates all things, including money. If you invest your time in learning a valuable skill or serving people or even, creating a product, you're going to make money. In general, that's the time. Now, I'm not going to get into 3 of these. I'm only going to get into one, delve deeper into one. But but time, I'm not going to really not. And in other videos, I may have to get in and really show you how to do that. Now, the second thing is space. Space is the second resource that you can turn into money. And space is the concept with space is that any geographical space or area has money in it. And if you sit down and really, really kind of extract the value out of it, you can get really rich. Land as minerals, property as value, even the animals and the birds and the fish, they're worth something. You can study them, you can photograph them, whatever. Okay, anyway, I'm not going to get into that one. Okay, it's too much. Number 2 is space. The third resource that I find that you can convert to money is human capital. And that's what's in people. And this is what I've been talking about in the rest of the video, really, and it's what I'm going to just get deeper into right at the end. Human capital. See, it's your potential to look at the invisible things that you have inside you and exploit them. That is human capital. That is the potential of you. It's human potential. You have human potential. Your son has human potential. Your daughter has human potential. Your spouse has human potential. Your mother and father, everybody, we all have human potential. Your community has human potential. If communities understood our own human potentials and we worked on them, we would take our communities from here to there. If families checked this out, if your church did this, if your nation did this, you would rise out of poverty before you even know it. And number 4 is work. Work is the fourth resource that you have that can be turned into money. And work is important because it's the greatest tool that you have. Whereas time is the greatest resource that you have, work is the greatest tool that you have in order to take advantage of these 3 things I've mentioned above. So, understand how to do it. I'm not talking physical labor. I'm not talking about a job when I say work. I'm talking about doing the hard work to think, to extract, to make decisions, to recognize things in yourself and really kind of zero in on those things, to focus, to move in speed. Anyway, I'm getting excited. I told you this was going to be fire. I told you that this was going to be explosive. Anyway, the sources of wealth that I want to pay some attention to, that are those that are inside you. And I want to give you 4 examples here that you can turn into money today. Examples. Now, there's obviously a bunch of things. But if you take these 4 examples that I give, because I'm going to give 4 very different examples, you can then use the you can extrapolate it, or even you can just send me an email, tell me what you have, and send me a message, and we can talk. I can help you out, maybe give you some pointers. Or, you can just research it yourself. Find out how you can turn it into money. All right, let's take a look at these four things. So first of all, wisdom and knowledge. What if what you have is wisdom and knowledge? How can you turn that into money? Now, this is one of my best assets, and I thought I'd start with that because I can give you first-hand evidence of what I'm talking about. You must harness your knowledge. You must harness your knowledge. You must harness it into an area that you are interested in. I harness my knowledge into areas that I'm interested in. Then you have to study, because that's the reason why you must harness into something you're interested in, because if you're not interested in something, you won't study it properly. You must study it and research it intensely until you know things in your field that most people don't know. That's how you're making yourself valuable. Then go and try out, what you know in, practical projects, and record your learnings, and publish your learnings and everything like this. Through practice and experience, that's how knowledge turns into wisdom. Practical experience, practice and experience, application. That's how knowledge turns into wisdom. Then this can now be packaged into books, courses, videos, and even consultancy services that are sellable for you. So you see how you can turn wisdom and knowledge into money? Okay, let's go number 2. Idea development. Let's say you're like a creative ideas person. You can make a list of all your ideas that you have, a lot of ideas. Make a list of 100 ideas that you have and rank them in order of their relevance and even how they resonate in you. If they're like, 2 or 3 or even 5 that's your ideas that are in your area of interest, then what I'm going to advise you to do is that you execute them yourself a little bit. Now, this is important. Or if you can't get someone to help you execute 1 or 2 of those ideas, or even get them to the point where they can now be delivered by a manager. So you get all the concepts, you get all the plans, you get all the, you've done all the necessary work to get them to a place where they're able to be delivered by someone who can execute, or by a project manager. At this, this proof that you have, because once they've been delivered, once the project has been delivered, this is going to be proof that's going to validate you. The proof of your project is going to validate you, and then from then, as you become more proven, people are going to start to be wanting to buy your ideas, because your ideas are proven, you see. So nobody's just going to say, oh yeah, you got an idea and they're just going to pay you. No. But your ideas are proven. People are going to pay you even from conception level. Then they won't even need you to go and do them. Once you've done maybe 5 or so, and they're like, this guy's always delivering a lot of ideas. This is how a lot of venture capitalists really look for guys who are proven, and that's who they invest in. Sometimes they'll hire you to just brainstorm. This is how you can get your idea development. All right, let's get into another area. Maybe you got a sense of fun. And here I'm taking an idea that's even more quirky, because the other 2 maybe were a bit more straightforward, but this is quite a bit more quirky thing. Maybe you have a sense of fun. So that's a quirkier gift. But, people will pay for people who want to party, and people who can bring up the spirits of the people around them. Melancholy individuals like myself, guys who are always serious like me, we love those fun people and all that. And so for you, find out in what scenarios that you can turn on your sense of fun. Find out, is it parties? Is it at events? Is it what is it? What is it? Is it one-on-one? Is it in large crowds that you become a party animal? And, learn the practical skills then that are in those areas. Let me tell you an example. You may be a good person who loves to, maybe make people have fun with music, but if you're not a good DJ, and you don't know how to select and really work the turntables, then DJing is not going to be for you, is it? But if you learn those practical skills, you can charge to host events for people, and in that way, you may be fun, but if you're a clown who doesn't know how to make balloon animals, for example, we're not going to hire you. But can you see, guys, how you can make even having a sense of fun into money in a way that is fun for you? And lastly, caring for others. Now, caring for people is something that's really, really important right now in the 21st century. We're becoming less personal in the 21st century. We're putting our parents into nursing homes. We're being separated from our loved ones, maybe because of work and stuff. So there are a lot of people who are wanting to, who are ending up lonely and stuff. And you can take care of people, the lonely, the elderly, those with special needs. And if you're good enough, you can do it for yourself. You can do it for you guys. And you can take care of those people who are in stressful jobs, maybe, so not just clients, but maybe taking care of those who are in stressful jobs. They may need your care. I just wanted you to see, guys, with these examples, that you are able, you can convert the cluster of gifts and assets that are in you into money. So when I say you're already wealthy, the money is already in you. Whoo. There are ways you can do it. So I hope this was very helpful. Again, leave a comment, like save this, share it onto your wall so that it's saved. It's on your wall. You can always just go back onto your wall and look at it again, because you can have a couple of things that you can take right now, take home, monetize them. All right, guys, I'm gonna talk to you later. Bye. It's your boy Rick. Ta-da.